A rescue helicopter was flying over a mountain in Japan. 2 hikers were missing. A storm had hit hours before. The crew had been searching for a long time. The sky was getting dark. They were about to give up. And then they saw it. 3 enormous letters in the middle of the forest. SOS, made from 19 massive tree trunks, each one over 5 meters long. They followed the signal. 3 kilometers away, they found the 2 hikers, exhausted, disoriented, but alive. When the rescue team helped them into the helicopter, one of the rescuers smiled and said, "Good work with that signal." The hikers looked at each other. "What signal? We didn't make that. Nobody knows who built it." And the more investigators looked, the stranger it got. Stay with me, because this story doesn't end where you think it does. When the 2 hikers said they hadn't built the SOS, the rescue team didn't know what to think. Someone else was out there. Someone who had taken the time, and the strength, to build a massive signal in the middle of a storm. The next morning, police sent a new team to the mountain. Their mission was simple: find whoever made it. What they found was not simple at all. 19 birch tree trunks. Each one cut with precision. Each one placed in a perfect formation. The team searched the entire area. They checked the perimeter. They looked for footprints, signs of a campfire, food, anything. Nothing. Then one of the officers noticed something in the mud, partially covered by leaves. A metallic shine. It was a Walkman. And next to it, inside a backpack, 4 cassette tapes, 2 tubes of toothpaste, a bar of soap, and a towel. For a moment, the team thought they had found the person. They thought she must be close. But a few meters away, hidden between roots and dead leaves, they found fragments of human bones. The remains were taken to the forensic laboratory at Asahikawa Medical University. The report said this: the bones belonged to a woman, between 20 and 40 years old, around 160 centimeters tall, blood type O. And here is where it gets disturbing. The bones showed multiple old fractures. Not recent ones. Old ones. This woman had been seriously injured long before she died. Nobody remembered a missing woman in the area. No reports. No photographs. No records. But here is the question that stopped everyone cold. If this woman had broken bones, how did she move 19 tree trunks by herself? The engineers calculated the weight. Each trunk weighed between 68 and 181 kilograms depending on its diameter. That means someone had moved between 1 and 3.5 tons of wood. Without tools. On broken, uneven terrain. In the middle of a storm. For a healthy person, that would already be nearly impossible. For someone with fractured bones, it simply could not be done. So the question became, was she alone? The police decided to listen to the cassette tapes they had found. What they heard changed everything. A voice. Desperate. Exhausted. SOS. Please help me. I am trapped on a cliff. I am at the place where I first met the helicopter. The bamboo is very thick and I cannot climb up. Please come and get me here. Now the investigators had 2 pieces of evidence that completely contradicted each other. The bones of a woman. And the recorded voice of a man. And there was one more detail that nobody could explain. In the recording, the man always spoke in singular. He never said we. He never mentioned another person. He spoke as if he were completely alone. A local journalist named Koyo Aratani became obsessed with the case. He asked for permission to visit the site himself. He climbed the mountain with a small team, cameras, flashlights, and the hope of finding something the police had missed. After hours walking through the fog, one of his team members noticed something on the ground, 50 meters north of the SOS signal. A small bag buried under roots and rotting leaves. Inside, 2 cameras, a notebook, and a license. The name on the license was Kenji Iwamura, a 25-year-old office worker from Konan City, Aichi Prefecture. Kenji had disappeared 5 years earlier, in 1984, after telling his family he was going hiking on Mount Asahidake. He never came back. His name had been sitting in an unsolved file, forgotten. For a moment, everything seemed to fit. The remains, the SOS, the backpack. Maybe it was all Kenji. His parents were called in to identify his belongings. They confirmed the objects were his. Then the police played them the tapes. The parents listened carefully. And then they said no. That voice was not their son's. It didn't even sound like him. The investigators were left with nothing but contradictions. The bones didn't match. The voice didn't match. And the physical effort required to build that signal seemed impossible for one person, injured, alone, and exhausted. And yet, they closed the case. In 1990, the bones were analyzed again. The new results overturned everything. The bones did not belong to a woman with blood type O. They belonged to a man with blood type A. Every assumption the investigation had been built on was wrong. Now a new question appeared. If the bones were Kenji's, who was the voice on the tape? And how did one man, injured and alone, move tons of wood on a steep, fog-covered mountain? There was another detail that nobody had paid attention to. The location of the SOS signal was not on the main trail that leads up the mountain. It was in a place where hikers almost never go, unless they make a very specific mistake. On Mount Asahidake, there is a rock called the Safe Rock. Hikers use it as a landmark. When you see it, you turn right and continue safely toward the summit. But right next to it, there is another rock. Almost identical. It is called the False Safe Rock. Many hikers confuse the two. And when they do, they turn left instead of right, and walk directly into the southern part of the mountain. A dangerous area. Full of cliffs. Covered in thick bamboo that is nearly impossible to move through. In recent years, authorities placed a rope around the false safe rock to warn visitors. But people still get confused. Even experienced hikers stop and doubt themselves. Now imagine this. You are tired. You are alone. The fog has erased every landmark you knew. You see a rock that looks familiar. You turn. And without knowing it, the mountain has you. That is what investigators believe happened to Kenji. And it is what happened to the two Tokyo hikers who were rescued that day. The same mistake. The same rock. The same trap. Theory 1. Kenji was alone. On July 10, 1984, Kenji left his guest house early in the morning. The owner warned him about an incoming storm. Kenji went anyway. He climbed. The fog came fast. He made the wrong turn at the false safe rock. He walked south. The terrain became unfamiliar. Then dangerous. He slipped. He fell off a cliff. He broke 2 bones. In pain and desperate, he took out his Walkman and recorded a message for help, leaving it on repeat, hoping someone would hear it. Still injured, he kept moving. He crossed a river and reached a flat, swampy area. There, with everything he had left, he gathered branches and trunks and built the SOS. It was his last act. But this version has problems. The only cliffs in that area are high on the mountain. If he fell from there, he would have had to travel an enormous distance, with broken bones, just to reach the swamp. And the SOS itself. Even with tools and full strength, building something that size takes days. How could a broken, starving, dying man do that alone? Theory 2. There was a second person. What if Kenji wasn't alone that day? What if somewhere on the trail, he met another hiker? 2 strangers, walking together toward the summit. The fog falls. They both make the same mistake at the false safe rock. One of them, not Kenji, slips and falls. He breaks bones. He records the message on Kenji's Walkman. The other one, maybe Kenji, maybe not, still has some strength left. He finds an axe. Or something like one. And over hours, maybe days, he builds the SOS. When he realizes his companion is not going to survive, he takes what he can and tries to find help. He never makes it back. He is still out there. Somewhere on that mountain. Unnamed. Unknown. This theory would explain everything. Why the voice on the tape doesn't match Kenji. Why there was no axe found, because the second person had it. And how it was physically possible to build that signal. Nobody was ever identified. Nobody was ever found. The case was closed without answers. Today, if you hike Mount Asahidake, you can still see the rope around the false safe rock. It is there to protect you, to stop you from making the same mistake. But the mountain doesn't tell you everything. It doesn't tell you about the man who recorded a desperate message that nobody heard in time. It doesn't tell you about the signal that saved 2 strangers, built by someone who may have never been found. And it doesn't tell you whether that someone was alone. Some places hold their secrets tightly, and some questions are not meant to be answered. They are just meant to be carried. So the next time you see something that doesn't make sense, ask yourself, what really happened here? If this story stayed with you, subscribe for more slow English stories for beginners. Every week a new mystery, told slowly, so you can understand every word. And maybe, the next story will stay with you too.